After 16 years of helping people retire, I've seen that there's 5 warning signs that scream, don't retire yet, even if you think that you're financially ready. And here's what's scary. A lot of people ignore these warning signs because they've focused on hitting that number, that magic retirement number. And they think, I've got enough money to do it. I know I'm going to be okay financially, so I'm ready to go. But I've seen people who were perfectly fine, perfectly prepared for financial retirement, but they ended up miserable in retirement. So before you turn in that resignation letter, or before you list your business for sale, let me share these 5 warning signs. The last 2 are directly financial related, but the first 3, those are the most common ones that I see again and again. By the way, if I haven't met you yet, I'm Dave Zoller, and I own a retirement planning firm, Streamline Financial, with Tim and Luke and Sean, and we're in the Chicago suburbs. And we make these videos to help make your retirement the best stage of life yet. So let's get into warning sign number 1, and that is your job is currently providing the 3 C's. So the 3 C's, those are something that we should really strive for, whether we're working in or if we're already retired, because they're really keys to a fulfilling life. And here's what they are. Number 1 is connection. That's work that connects you with other people in meaningful ways. That's key number 1. Number 2 is contribution. You feel like you're making a difference, either helping others or creating value in some way. And then the third C is creativity. So is it challenging you intellectually? And is it allowing you to learn new skills or just to apply the skills that you have? Some people that I've seen, they realize that after they've retired, it's not what they thought it'd be. And they actually realized that those 3 C's, they had been achieving those every day while they were working. And then they had to rework their life a little bit in retirement to reintroduce them and then start these things again. So, but knowing these ahead of time is going to be really valuable for you. And the other thing to think about here is if you're in your 60s and 70s and you're still working because you love what you do, I would guess that you're getting some version of the 3 C's. But the tip here is to not let societal pressure or societal norms of, that norm of retiring at 65, that's the retirement age. Don't let that force you into something that you don't really want to do. We see this happen with some clients and other people that I know where it's like, why are you still working? Why don't you go relax and enjoy your life? Well, they are enjoying their life. They're doing the things that are fulfilling to them. But here's the step or the test. Ask yourself, does my work currently provide connection with others, a sense of contribution, and creative challenges? If yes, think carefully about whether retirement is going to replace these things or leave you feeling empty. I'd love to know what you think about the 3 C's concept. If you like it, click the like button so that I know, and hopefully YouTube could spread this to other people. One other thing too about the 3 C's, if your work is providing the 3 C's, but there's also this high level of stress that comes with your work, and if it's negatively impacting health, that's something to think about too a little bit deeper. Maybe explore ways to modify your role before completely walking away. Sometimes a gradual transition can work better than just going cold turkey. And this can apply to business owners too. And that's related to warning sign number 2, actually, because many entrepreneurs think that retirement means selling the business or walking away completely. But that might be the worst possible decision for both your happiness and for your wealth. So instead of just thinking about retiring from your business, what if you could retire in your business? And if you're not a business owner, some of this is going to apply to you too. But what if you could just step back from parts of the job or parts of your role, your owner of the business? What if you could step back from the ones that you don't enjoy or you don't love being involved in, and instead just focus on the parts of the business that really energizes you or fascinates you or motivates you? I know Tom, he owned a successful company and he was burned out. He was in his late 50s and he was managing everything. Managing the day-to-day operations, dealing with employee issues and HR and handling all the administrative headaches. I'm sure you can relate. But Tom's first initial instinct was to just sell everything and then retire completely. But when we talked about it, he realized that he loved some of the strategic side of the business, working with some key clients or having a role in some new products, and even mentoring his management team. Not everybody, but a few key players. So instead of selling, Tom restructured what he did. He hired a GM to handle the operations, and he stepped back from day-to-day management, but stayed involved as chairman. So he kept ownership, maintained his income. He actually lowered his income a little bit, but it was worth it. And he focused only on the parts of the business that he enjoyed. So if you're a business owner, or if you're in a job right now and there's different parts of your role, ask, what parts do you love? What are the parts that drain you? Could you eliminate any of the draining things while still keeping the energizing things, even if that means less income? If you could spend your days on what's fascinating and what's motivating to you, it might not feel like work at all. Now, the next warning sign you might have heard before, and then I'll get into two important financial warning signs, but this one is probably the biggest red flag that I see, and it's incredibly common. Someone comes into my office and they say, Dave, I hate my job. My boss is terrible. That the stress is killing me. I just want to be done with this, retire, and get on with life. I get that. I really do. Getting away from a horrible job or toxic work environment sounds like a great reason to retire. But here's the only problem. If you're retiring from something instead of retiring to something, you might be setting yourself up for a retirement depression. We've seen it again and again. Here's what happened. Mark knew that he knew what he was running from. He had no idea what he was running to. When the honeymoon phase of retirement slowly went away, he realized that he didn't have purpose for this next phase of life. He didn't have a structure, and he didn't have any sense of progress or accomplishment. So here's the test. Before you retire, complete this sentence. I'm excited to retire because I want to blank. One of the questions that we ask a lot of people after they give us the goal of retirement is, that's fantastic. What are you excited about doing in retirement that you can't do now? That could be a good question to think about too. If your answer is to just stop working or avoid stress or to do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whoever you want, that sounds great. That's good. But if there are no specifics, you might not be ready yet. So here's what to do instead. Take the time to figure out what you want your retirement to look like specifically. What's going to give you purpose? What did you enjoy as a kid or maybe when you were younger that you don't have time for now? What's going to challenge you? What's going to make you excited to get up in the morning? I've got exercises for this that help with purpose in retirement. And that's why we talk about this so much with our clients at Streamline Financial. But don't retire from your problems. Retire to a future that you're really excited about. Now let's get to the financial warning signs. And I think you'll have this one covered, but I want to mention it because a lot of people don't. So warning sign number 4 is, if you can't tell me with reasonable range of what you're going to spend each month in retirement, you might not be ready to retire just yet. I know this sounds really basic, but you'd be shocked how many people retire without really understanding what their expenses are. They've got a vague idea, maybe we'll spend less, but they don't have real data yet. Here's what's uncomfortable. And it's a truth that we see. Many people's expenses, they don't go down in retirement, especially the first few years, because you finally have time to do all the things that you've been putting off for so long while you were working, whether it's travel or home improvements or hobbies. Those all cost money. So here's the test. Can you tell me right now what you spent last month on groceries, on dining out, on entertainment, or on gas? If you don't know, or if you can't look it up, then with your current spending patterns, then how are you going to be able to predict retirement spending? And if the answer is no, start tracking expenses, either using, I like Monarch Money personally, but a simple spreadsheet can do the job too. But get that real data for at least 6 months, and then think about how in retirement that might change, how the categories might change. Some will go down, some are going to go up. So don't guess this about your retirement expenses. Really know them. And then one last thing on this is to increase peace of mind. We've seen those retirement expenses that you have, split them into 2 groups. You've got the needs, the essentials, and then the wants, the nice to haves. That's just really helpful to know what the absolute essentials are, the survival things that you need, because that number is pretty manageable for most people. If worst comes to worst, you've got that amount that you can cover each month. The next warning sign is both financial and psychological. And then I'll give you the final, most important question. So this one, the warning sign is you're carrying debt into retirement, especially credit card debt or auto loans. Here's why this matters so much. Because when you're working and earning an income, debt payment feels more manageable. There's just another item on your budget and you're knocking it out. But in retirement, you're living off all of the savings, your nest egg, and every debt payment, it feels like it's just eating more and more away at your nest egg. You don't have any new funds coming in to replenish that nest egg. Let's say you've got a $500 a month credit card payment over 20 years in retirement. That's $120,000 of retirement savings that it's going to eat up, that you're going to be paying to credit card companies, supporting your lifestyle. Also, plus interest. But It's not just the math, it's psychology, because debt payments in retirement create this constant stress about whether your money is going to last. That's why so many people think about paying off a mortgage, not because it makes sense financially in retirement, but it's just one less thing to have to owe somebody else. So think about creating a debt payoff plan before you retire, even if it means working a little bit longer and putting all those extra funds just to pay off the debt. That could be huge. Really, everyone's different, but from what we see from other people, that will bring a lot of peace of mind and financial flexibility. Now, here's the question again to think about before you take the next step. And that is, are you retiring from something or are you retiring to something exciting? If you can clearly articulate what you're excited to do in retirement, and if you have purpose and plans and passion for this next chapter, then those warning signs probably don't apply to you. But if retirement sounds like just not working, then maybe you need to do a little bit more planning to think about making this leap and what's going to be next. If you like this video, please hit the like button so that YouTube can spread this to other people and hopefully they get help too. And then check out these videos here to make your retirement even better. Take care.